Mikee P back on the In the Money Players podcast, and you know what we do on Tuesdays, Assiniboia Downs, and we're looking late pick 4. And I have a resident Canadian with me this week, Garnet Barnsdale. He's typically a harness guy. He does the Horse Player Journal for Mohawk, but he is an experienced thoroughbred player, and he probably plays more thoroughbred races than many people on this planet. So, Garnet, always good to have you and your opinions.
Thanks. Listen, I was there on Saturday. I started betting races at noon, and I didn't finish till midnight, and I broke even. So that's a great day at the track if you're betting 40, 50, 60 races. There was a couple of times I got down to zero on my account and hit a race. So, but they were mostly thoroughbred races until nighttime, and I'm fairly into it, Mike.
Absolutely. We live racing, and always good to have you with me. And I know you're a fan of Assiniboia. I know that you're willing to look at that Western Canadian racetrack, 8:30 Eastern. But they're racing Monday this week, but typically Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And Garnet, lots of changes this year. We go over them every week, but $3 pick 3s now, and of course that $1 late pick 4 with that 50,000 guarantee. It never disappoints, though. That pool is always large. It's typically over 80,000. Sometimes it's over 100,000.
Yeah, it's great, and it's very competitive racing, and I love that they're trying the $3 pick 3. I see a lot of tracks doing that now, and some of these tickets pay great. If you just beat one favorite, it pays a few $100. So I'm all for that.
We love our ASD here on In the Money. Well, we're going to get some handicapping here, and we're going to look late pick 4 because that's our favorite pool, our favorite races 4, 5, 6, 7 here on Tuesday, July the 14th. Race 4, 9:50 Eastern time, Garnet, and we were talking, this is a condition allowance race, optional claiming types, and we're going 6 here, and you have a single to kick off. I thought this race was a little more wide open, but I understand your single, so who do you like?
Yeah, I'm going with CPG from the rail. I'm trying to beat, I think, a couple of favorites later in the sequence, but coming out of these stake races, like last time out, he dueled 4 wide, so he's 4 wide by a neck at the quarter and the half. That's almost impossible to overcome that kind of a trip. Still beaten only 2 lengths. Now in for a tag for 17,005. He's got Sven Balrup, who's tied for leading rider currently, and trainer Steve Keplin's he's clicking at 44%. So he doesn't get to that kind of a percentage by placing horses poorly. And I think this is a good spot for CPG to go right to the front and lead all the way here.
Yeah, and I understand him very much. And he was against the track there on June the 23rd. The rail was very good there. He had no anywhere near the rail and ran into that red hot Bernheim, who won 2 stakes in a row, 2 big prices for that one, but he continues to win. I thought others had chances in the race. I do think that would be my main press in this pick 4, but I think Medicine Dog can win. He's the 3. That one's 6-1 morning line. He's third back for Gourneau. And, he raced against CPG coming off the layoff there on May the 12th. And it showed speed in there, but tired, and then tired again whenever you're racing on the front in a similar spot there on June the 2nd. But this barn typically improves these horses, and I think he does fit. He won stakes last year. It took him a little while to warm up also. If you look third back last year over this track, June 24th, he was a winner in a $50,000 stake. Now, he was favored in that race there, but I do think he fits, and he's one that I do want to have on tickets. I think the 6 Wico has been a little unlucky also. Now, that one's 2-1 morning line. He's going to take money. He just missed the tail lights last time. It was a really nice horse. He lost the Judo 2 back. That was basically a horse of the meet last year around here. So he's been facing toughies. For me, I do think that it was going to be a little price dependent in this, especially our first race of this pick 4. I'm going to look at the board here. I'm going to see what sort of action he's taking. If he is taking money into these horses, I probably will include him. If he's not, I would be very willing to pitch him. And then if you're looking for a price, the 5, My Wife Is Right. This one's the only closer in here. It's Gourneau again. And this one closed up last time against Judo and Tail Lights. So he's keeping very good company. They could heat it up early, and we'll see. If CPG can't wire them, I think it's maybe anybody's game late. And maybe that one's 15-1 morning line. I wouldn't mind starting this pick 4 with that horse.
I could say I don't like the name of that horse, My Wife Is Right, except for that my wife saved me and let me use her laptop to go to do this podcast because mine wasn't allowing certain things to happen. So My Wife Is Right, in this case tonight, is right.
The ultimate spot play, the ultimate Swami angle heading into the pick 4 for Tuesday at Assiniboia Downs. Definitely using that horse now. Race number 5 and another condition allowance race here, Garnet. They're going 7 furlongs here, and this is where my single comes. I do think that the 4 Dancing Raquel is just too good and too fast for these horses. Just missed last time to Get My Drift. Well, Get My Drift shows up in the stake in the 3rd leg of this sequence here. Prior to that, wired a field there on June the 16th. This one I just think is game improving, and it's just faster than some of these horses. And you see some of these horses have been racing in different spots. You have some shippers in here. Jared Brown brings the 2 in. He's 1 for 45. Now he's got 15 shares, but even still, when's that barn going to wake up? I just think that I'm going to spread other places. I'm going to use Dancing Raquel here in the 2nd leg. Who do you like?
Okay, I did spread here, but I didn't use the 2. I started out with Peyton's Indian, a Gournot horse. I think raced really well last time. Good pace figure, good speed rating. Horse knows how to win, 8 for 38. Then, of course, I used Dancing Raquel, your single. Then I went to Queen of Attitude. I thought, she won 2 starts back and then failed as the favorite. But I don't know what it means in vice on the final turn. She's in a vice. So I guess she had some kind of trouble on the last turn. So I've got her. And then for a price, I'm going to use the 6 Easy Tree 8s. This horse came off the layoff, was off for close to a year. And first time out in May, finished a pretty good 4th, closing up. And then second time out was closer at every call and one pulling away. So maybe an improving sort at 10-1, I think is worth a look in here.
Yeah, how about the 8 in here? 30-1 morning line. That one's won 3 straight races climbing the ladder.
Just so close to using the 8, and I'm like, I don't want my ticket to be that high. But that was probably the only horse that I wanted that I didn't use in the whole sequence.
Garnet goes wide open. I'm singling the 4 in race number 5. 2nd leg of the pick 4. First leg of that late pick 3 also. Remember, $3 late pick 3. $3 pick 3s, rolling pick 3s at Assiniboia Downs this year. So if you're out of the pick 4 early, jump in that late pick 3. And Garnet, we're going to go to race number 6. We have a stake race here, 50,000 here. Canada Stakes, 4 fillies, 3 and up. They're going 7.5, and that makes things just a little trickier here, as some of these horses, well, most of them faced each other last time on June the 24th. Do you think anyone can turn the tables on the 7?
That's exactly why I used 4 horses in here. And that's kind of the thought process I had. The 7 obviously stands out based on the last race, but I think the added distance might make it a little bit interesting. So I went to the 1 Rocky Bay Ray, who finished behind the 7 last time, but was second, beaten 2 lengths. Looks like crying out for more distance there. I also used the 6 Yankee Doodle, who never really got involved, but this is the 3rd start since coming north from New York. At 15-1 with the added distance, the horse was only beaten 4 lengths, right? And had the rail, maybe got shuffled back at the start. I think it did say steadied inside early for the trouble line. So at 15-1, a possible price play. I did use Give Up the Fight. And then the last one I used is the 8 Mad About Marie, for the same reason I used the other 3, was closing on the winner, gets added distance, looks like a horse that obviously wants more distance, winning a couple races, at a distance greater than this 7.5 furlong distance in March at Oaklawn Park. So, if I probably should make a stand and just throw the 7 right out. But if I get one of my other prices, I don't want to get nothing. But I'm really hoping to beat Don't Give Up the Fight here.
Yeah, and you can almost use that one. We don't like to use favorites defensively, but I mean, in this case, you have some other races where you want to press up. So I don't mind that one. I think Don't Give Up the Fight is a little tricky here. I mean, it is Diodoro. He only comes whenever he brings horses to race very well. This horse is 3 for 3 so far this year. Has won over the grass, won last time, and won well. And now distance is a little bit of a question, but this one has lines going long, like you mentioned, for some of the others. I mean, this horse was 2nd in a mile and 8th at Century last year, so I don't know that the distance is going to be an issue. But we'll see what kind of trip that this one gets, because the speed's back in here. Blink Dancer's back in here. Now that one, I really don't want any part of. I do think that he could have some trouble, especially getting that extra furlong and a half here. So I did pitch him out, but I will use a couple prices. The 4 Welcome to Hollywood's one you didn't mention. And that one, again, they sort of all raced against each other last time. This one had an outside post, had a little bit of trouble, was wide, was 24-1, and was beaten less than 3. So was coming forward late, has some mount and 8th lines from last year over this track and at Century. I do think that this one fits with the extra distance for sure. And Whitehall gets back on. He's very familiar. And we'll see if Jared Brown can wake one up here. That one's 8-1 morning line. And then the 5 Midnight Ladies, another one you didn't mention. We must like them all in here, Garnet, but it's Jerry Gourneau shipping up from Houston. But if you look, this horse had some starter allowance lines at Remington back in December. So if those lines translate here for me, I do think that distance suits. And I am always very suspicious of Gourneau horses, especially ones that have 2 wins over this racetrack showing back up here. So that's one I'm going to probably have to include also. So I'm 7-4-5. You're 1-6-7-8. So we're all over the place here.
They are.
Race 7 to finish, and it's bottoms here, Garnet. 3,000 claimers. There's a condition on that. So these horses really haven't been performing very well. Who wakes up? How are we going to get paid?
How are we going to get paid? I think I made a mistake on my ticket here. I'm actually trying to beat the 6. So if I gave you the 6, you can take that one out. I'm starting out with the 5 Nene, who got claimed for 5,500, and races for a 3,000 claimer here. I think I don't think it's a suspicious drop. I think they can still make some good money if they win. They race. They claim July 1st. You race 2 weeks later, you can make a few $1,000s. So I think Nene is probably the speed of the speed. I don't like Miss Z because she had an opportunity to win twice. Her last 2 starts racing at this level, couldn't get it done. So I'm trying to beat her. That's one of the favorites I'm against. And the other one I'm going to use is the 8, who hasn't raced this year. Norma No, last raced at Hastings, shows some Woodbine lines and has some very nice workouts. 3 bullet workouts coming into this race at this track. I think can get a good stalking position at the start. So I'm 6-8 in this race, not 5-8 like I told you. I'm trying to beat the 5.
No, I'm
sorry. I'm 5-8, Mike. 5-8.
5-8, and I switched already on the screen, so you can see Garnet's ticket. He has the 1 singled, and he's spready in those middle legs, and then 5-8 to finish up. And I agree on the 8 in the last. I do think that one is definitely a use in this race, and I like a couple others also. I will use Miss Z. I do think that one, for me, is probably going to be the speed. Has 5 wins over the track. Now, only 1 for the last 12, and that's the bottoms. Tends to get tired late. So I don't know. I don't want to get beat by this one necessarily, but I would probably press up the 7 and the 8. The 7, Crescent's Little Charms, another one I'm interested in. I just like the race last time. Off the claim, definitely improved, was bet, stumbled at the break. Should be better here. 9 wins and 46 starts. This horse has made some money. I do think that second off the bench, and if you look, has some prior lines. Raced for 7,500 back in May. So I do think this one fits here, and I'll use that one also. So 7-8, I'll use the 6 also. So I'll put my ticket up here for this late pick 4. Again, I'm a little spready early. I probably would press up that 1, definitely king the 4, and then we're going to be 3 deep to finish out. 4, 5, 7, 6, 7, 8 in that dollar late pick 4, and play some pick 3s also. You never know what you might get there with that $3 minimum. Garnet, always good to have you. Canadian racing, I know you're a huge fan of. What else is going on with you these days? You were telling me you're getting ready to go to the Buffalo Bills' new stadium.
Yeah, well, that's August 15th. But prior to that, obviously, we're going down to for Hambletonian Week, where my son Nick and I participate as advisors in the Clyde Hurt Journalism workshop, where we get some students fresh out of college and show them how to cover harness races, and they've never seen a harness race or a harness horse. So it's a pretty interesting week as we kind of school them through it. And then they get some stories published in, the Boston Globe, the Asbury Park Press. So it's pretty exciting for them and us. We enjoy doing it. And then, of course, we get to see the handball, the greatest day in racing in North America, in my opinion. So we're doing all that first. And then when we come back, we're going to see an exhibition game at the Bills' brand new stadium. So we're excited about that. We have season tickets every year. So I just need them to win once while I'm still walking the planet, and I'll die a happy man, I guess.
Oh, last year was a tough one, I do have to say. But, yeah, well, Garnet, always good to have you. Check you out for, if you're into Standardbred, of course. He does the Horse Players Journal for Mohawk. He might show up on 1 or 2 more of our podcasts here, depending on, especially Hambo Week. I definitely like to nail him down. And always good for a thoroughbred opinion, too. So thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you soon.
Anytime, Mike. Always my pleasure.
This has been a production of In the Money Media. Always get in on Tuesday at Assiniboia Downs. If you feel like it, get on Wednesday at Assiniboia Downs. We'll see you next time.